I call upon the spirit of the owl, messenger of wisdom. Welcome to the Temple of the Owl. Merry meet, seekers of knowledge, for I am Matt's Owl, your host, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Sending some good vibrations and good positivity your way, in case you guys need it out there. Here at the Temple of the Owl, located deep in the forests of Northern California. In this episode, we will discuss air magic, the athame, and the feather. This is where we talk about spirituality and witchcraft on all levels, through the perspective of a modern witch. As always, these are just ideas to help you live a magical life and make you think about things differently. Take the information and do what you will. Witchcraft is a deeply personal religion, and it's unique to each individual, so feel free to change or adapt anything to work with you. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for support. Special thank you to those listening on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP, Digital Broadcasting. Give a shout out to my friends and family over there at Troubled Minds. Also, you guys could visit templeoftheowl.com. All my episodes are up there. Thanks, Mike Strange, for doing that for me. And just want to thank you guys for listening and thank you guys for all your support. There's other ways to listen. We have Spotify, YouTube, and then, of course, the templeoftheowl.com. Well, I like to start the shows off with what I call the MOD, or the message of the day. And it's a little quote that I find that helps me explain the show topic. And today's quote, since we're talking about air magic, we're going to talk about the athame. Today's quote is, "The athame cuts the veil. The feather stirs the soul. Together they summon wind and will, forging spell from sky and shadow." And that's a random quote I found on the internet about an athame. And let's talk about what that is. The athame, it isn't just any blade. It's a symbol of willpower and focused energy. It's used in magical traditions around the world, especially in Wicca, in ceremonial magic, and in witchcraft. Now the athame is pronounced athame, but it's spelled athem. So it's kind of tricky to how to pronounce it. But when I first heard it, I heard it called athame, and then I reread it and it's athame. It's a ritual knife. It usually has a black handle with a double-edged blade. It's not for cutting physical objects. It's a tool of energy and used to direct magical intent. Think of it as a witch's wand, only sharper. The historical echoes can be traced back to ceremonial magic and medieval grimoires, where blades were used to trace symbols or command spirits. The term athame likely evolved from arthame, a word found in the Key of Solomon, a famous magical text. In modern witchcraft, especially in Wicca, the athame gained sacred status through the teachings of Gerald Gardner and Doreen Valentine. It's typically associated with the element of air, but in some traditions, it's fire. I learned it air first, so that's why we're talking about air magic today. It represents intellect, willpower, boundaries, and protection. It's a masculine energy, in balance with the chalice's feminine. Its primary role is to channel, cut, or carve through energy, used in casting circles, invoking deities, and banishing negativity and focusing spells. Casting and cutting the circle. Drawing your sacred space with intention. You could use it for evocation, calling upon spirits or elemental forces. You can also use it for banishing and protection, clearing unwanted energy. The way you use it is by drawing symbols or sigils in the air. or over an altar. You can charge the tools with focused energy. It's usually not sharpened because it's not a weapon, it's a spiritual blade. Many witches craft or customize their own athame, inscribing it with runes, symbols, or personal sigils. It's consecrated like any sacred tool, blessed, cleansed, and charged under the moonlight or with elemental rites. When brought together in ritual, the athame and the chalice symbolize the divine union where will meets spirit. Combine the athame with a feather. Some witches add a feather to the handle or sheath, representing the merging of the blade, will, and air, like thought and spirit. You can say something like, "By blade of night and edge of thought, I carve the path the spell has sought. In sacred fire and shadow's breath, this blade shall serve beyond all death." Let's drift into the magic of the feather. One of the most ancient and whisper-soft tools in a witch's kit. The feather represents air, the breath of spirit, the winds of change, and the communication between the worlds. It's a messenger used to cleanse, bless, and guide energy. Now, feathers are light but powerful. They carry an essence of flight, of freedom, and reaching between the realms, especially the spiritual and the astral planes. It's a symbol of mind, inspiration, thought, dreams, and divination. It's associated with the East, the dawn, and the new beginnings. It brings messages from the spirit world, often seen as signs, guides, ancestors, or deities. Feathers are often used to waft smoke from herbs, like sage or mugwort, directing it around a person, space, or object. This isn't just air movement, it's energetic sculpting, shaping the flow of a spiritual purification. The feather is kept on the east side of the altar and used to call in the element of air during rituals or circle casting. It's used in air-based spells like creativity, communication, and clarity. It can be inscribed with runes or sigils, or tied into bundles with herbs and hung for protection or inspiration. Feathers are linked to dreams, sleep, and astral travel. Placed near the bed, they invite guiding spirits to lucid dreams. Let's talk about some of the different types of feathers and what they mean. You have the crow or the raven. That's spirit messages or shadow work, protection. The owl is for wisdom, seeing the unseen, and moon magic. A hawk is for vision, foresight, or spiritual leadership. A dove feather is for peace, love, and healing. A peacock feather is for beauty, mysticism, and divine femininity. A goose or a swan feather is for storytelling or transformation and grace. Each feather carries the energy of its bird, and thus a unique magical resonance. Here's a ritual for feather blessing. Feather light, yet power deep, guide my thoughts and dreams in sleep. Whisper truth on winds unknown. By wing and word, let light be shown. Keep a journal of your feather, if you find feathers. When you discover one, note the color and try to find out what kind of bird it is, and the date, and what was on your mind. Record those in your journal. Feathers often arrive as signs. Air magic is the elemental practice that taps into the power of wind, breath, sound, voice, and intellect. It governs the mind, communication, intuition, imagination, and divination. It's invisible yet undeniable, like the breeze brushing on your skin, or the sudden idea that takes flight in your head. These are sacred objects and symbols, commonly used to work with air. The feather is the most iconic symbol of air, because it directs energy and cleanses with smoke. Traditionally linked to air in many systems, and used to cut through the illusion and direct will. Now, incense and smoke are also air tools. They carry prayers and spells into the ether. We also have chimes, bells, and flutes, sound magic, and vibration work, books, pens, and parchment, tools of language and learning. The wind itself is considered sacred, and it can be invoked or channeled through movement or breath. Here are some more air magic correspondences. Its elemental direction, of course, is the east. We talked about that. The season is spring for new ideas and beginnings. Its time of day is dawn, the first breath of inspiration. The 3 zodiac signs of air are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Its color is yellow, white, and silver, or sometimes blue. And its special forces are the sylphs. They're air spirits. They're like winged angels, and they're deities, kind of fairy folk. What can you use air magic for? Divination and psychic vision. Spells for clarity, wisdom, and truth. You can use it to improve communication, like when you're about to do a public speaking. You can call upon this element of air. You can use it for inspiration, creativity. You can focus a mantra or a chant, the voice of magic. Use air magic in lucid dreaming and astral travel, breathwork, and meditative journaling. Now, how the athame and the feather connect to air magic. The feather is passive. Air, it listens, flows, and cleanses, and calls in light vision. The divine whispers. The athame is active air. It cuts, commands, directs, and sends energy outward with precision. When used together, they balance the receptive and the projective sides of air. The feather listens, but the blade speaks. One gathers wind, the other shapes it. Here's a simple air magic spell that you can whisper into the wind. You gather your intent, and you want to send your message, wish, or question into the unseen. You will need a feather and lavender or mint for clarity, a yellow candle, and a quiet breeze or an open window. Light your candle and hold the feather over the flame, not in it, feeling the warmth. Whisper your intention into the feather. Burn the herbs as incense and wave the feather through the smoke. Stand at your window or outside and let the feather catch the wind, and say, winged breath, take flight tonight. Carry my words in wind-borne light. Through the sky, and sky to soul, air above, my wish unfold. That's just some things you could say to use to invite the element of air and to bless your feather. Now sometimes we also have another knife used in magic called the bowline knife, or sometimes it's called the bowline knife. And this confuses people because this is a different knife, but it's a white-handled knife, and it's used in the physical and practical magical tasks. Unlike the athame, which directs energy, but doesn't touch the physical world, the bowline is an earthly tool. It's a witch's blade for gathering and crafting. Its primary uses are harvesting herbs, carving sigils into candles, wood, or clay, and cutting cords in cord magic or knot spells, trimming wicks, ropes, or magical threads, drawing symbols into the soil, bark, or wax. It's the witch's blade of earth and action, and used with intention can bring a magical and mundane together. Let's talk about the differences between the athame and the bowline. So the athame is used for spiritual, energetic work. It's often a black-handled knife, and it's used for casting circles, directing energy. And it's typically dull, because it does not cut anything physical. Now the bowline knife is a different knife, and it's physical and practical. It's traditionally white-handled. It's used for harvesting herbs, carving sigils, and it's sharpened for actual cutting. Often only touched by the practitioner and shared more freely in some traditions. The symbolism of the bowline is the element of earth. Now some assign it to air due to its blade. It's got a moon connection. The traditional curved blade, it resembles a crescent moon, symbolizing the goddess, cycles, and the natural rhythms. Just like a sickle in ancient times, it's a tool of gathering power from the land. Cut the blades of herbs with your knife and say, with this blade I take but never steal. I honor what I cut and heal. You can cleanse your blade with salt, smoke, or moonlight. Anoint it with a herbal oil or the dew, and bless it with intention. The bowline is bright and curved like the moon. It cuts with care, but never too soon. Gather herbs and shape your sacred space. By your edge, let magic trace. When gathering herbs with the bowline, witches often say a blessing or leave an offering to the plant spirit. The crescent-shaped bowline is used to honor in lunar rites, especially during the new or waning moon. It's used in cord-cutting rituals. The bowline physically severs ties and spells of release, breakup, and spiritual unbinding. You could use it in rune and sigil crafting. Some witches inscribe magical symbols into candles or wood using the bowline as a sacred stylus. It kind of reminds me of that air is the first magic that we learn ever. Air is the unseen hand on your shoulder, the whisper behind the intuition, the thought that arrives before you know where it came from. It carries prayer, language, song, and spell. It moves through the lungs, through the leaves, and through the spaces between the worlds. And it teaches us that not everything powerful needs to be heavy. Air asks us to listen, to notice patterns, and to trust messages that come softly instead of loudly. Just light some incense and let the wind touch your face, even if only in memory. Because the element of air is always moving through you. Every breath is a reminder that you are alive, you are connected, and you are never truly still. Until next time, may your thoughts stay clear, your words stay true, and your spirit stay light. Breathe easy. Thank you guys for that, listening to that. I want to talk about the elements just to kind of cover each element. And that was the last one. That was air. If you guys want to go back and listen to my other podcasts, I've done all the elements so far. But we might do one about spirit. And got a lot more stuff coming up. So I thank you guys for listening. I want to say a special thank you for those listening on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Visit symboloftheowl.com. Visit troubledminds.org. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like these kind of shows, if you have any ideas, anything like that you want me to talk about, we're going to keep on going. And until next time, you guys, I just want to say thank you guys for listening. This is the Temple of the Owl. This is Matt's Owl. Signing off. Release the spirit of the owl. Thank you for journeying with me on the Temple of the Owl.
For many centuries, witchcraft has been considered evil, associated with the devil and all things dark. Let's break these stereotypes with your host, Matt Sal, at the Temple of the Owl. Let's talk about magic, as the old ways explore the many roles of the witch, including the tools of the craft, the history of the science behind this ancient, earth-based religion, on Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting.
Thank you, Rohan. All the music is from the mighty Rohan. Leah Martin.